So you would have heard the news recently of Spaceship looking to increase their fees from the 1st of November to $2.50 per month. And of course, a lot of people are feeling quite unhappy about this and they're feeling a bit betrayed because Spaceship used to have super low fees before. It was literally zero fees until $5,000 of investment, and only once you cross the 5K threshold, only then you pay the fees. And even then, the fees are literally 0.05% per year to 0.1% per year, so it was a pretty good deal. But after this change, nearly all customers are going to be paying a higher fee as a percentage of their overall investment. So as you can see, people are obviously not unhappy. Now in this video, we're going to be looking at the specifics of what they're actually doing, and we'll also be looking at some examples as to what the fees will actually charge you. And then lastly, we'll talk about why this might not be as bad as you think. And I think this section is pretty important, so please watch until the end. This section might cause you to reconsider what you're thinking, so stick around until then. If you guys are new here, my name is Fyzee. This channel is about finance and investing. Before we begin, this video is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Please do some research on your own as well. Let's jump into it. So firstly, let's have a look at the fine details of these changes. So once you log into Spaceship, you'll be given this not so lovely message from Bryna, and basically she's telling us that beginning the 1st of November, they're replacing the fees with a new structure of $2.50 per month. This fee will be applied when you have a portfolio with a balance of $100 or more. So if you're someone who hasn't tried the app before and you just want to dip your toes in and see how it's like, that $100 threshold will give you enough margin to just jump into it, set up that auto invest of $5 per week or whatever it is, and then you can kind of test it out and see how it goes. Personally, it would have been, I think, better for everyone if that threshold was at least $500 or at least even $1,000, but we're not really getting that, so $100 is all we really have. Now, they're also saying that this fee is an increase for most of their customers, which is true, but they are still one of the lowest cost micro investment apps in Australia, and they're also committed to investing in your future, etc., with fee-free balances of $100 or less, no minimum investments or transaction fees, and you can also set up investment plans of weekly, fortnightly, and monthly investments. And also you can get instant diversification with just little amounts, which is a unique selling factor of Spaceship. And then lastly, you can also set up investment goals, and coming soon, you'll also be getting stuff like goal setting tools, more investment goals, whatever that means, plus roundups, but better. I'm keen to see how they can set up roundups even better. We also have competitors like Raise who have roundups, and they're doing it quite well, I believe. So it'll be interesting to see what Spaceship can come up with. Now, it does make me think why Spaceship didn't have this roundup feature before. It seems like if it's a micro investing app, having a roundup feature seems like a necessary part of having that sort of app. So finally, they're jumping onto it, which is good, I guess. So you might be thinking, why increase the fees now? What's the rationale for doing it right at this stage? And if you have a look on their website, they're pretty much saying that it's the first time in 3 years that they've actually done this, and pretty much everything has grown since their launch, especially including their customer base. And to be fair, this is pretty true. When they first started, they would have barely had any customers, and that customer base has grown quite a bit. Last year, looking at that March period, a lot of customers opened their first brokerage account for the first time. If we look at the ASIC website, they've pretty much said that back in that sort of February to April period, in that 6-week-ish period, people were opening accounts at a rate of 4,675 per day. So over 140,000 accounts were opened in just that 6-week period. And we can safely kind of assume that a lot of the customers would have also kind of gone on to these micro investing apps like Raise, Spaceship, and CommSec Pocket because of the crash, along with a normal brokerage. So since there has been a huge influx of customers since then, Spaceship probably thinks that now is the best time to monetize these customers even more. Now, to be honest, I think that these changes will do two main things. If the customer is very price sensitive, they will pretty much leave Spaceship altogether. They might just withdraw all their investments until it's sub $100 or just zero. But it will also cause people to do one more thing, which is to invest more regularly and invest more religiously, if that makes sense. They might start to set up those investment plans to make sure that they can keep on investing more and more. So the actual cost as a percentage of their overall investment starts to lower and lower with time. I think that this fee increase will have a polarizing effect on different types of people. And it seems to me that Spaceship has done the maths to make sure that they come out ahead. One more thing that I found pretty interesting is that they've said that additionally, our in-house investment team has delivered strong investment performance outcomes since launch, which we're really proud of. So they're pretty much saying they deserve the fee increase because they've given us those returns, which may be true. That's up to you to decide. But they have performed pretty good though. You can't ignore what you had to pay as a cost to actually access those returns. Now, of course, as we've talked about before, this will represent a fee increase for most customers. So if we look at the current fee structure right now, we can see that the cheapest portfolio is the Origin portfolio, and the fees when the balance is above $5,000 is 0.05% per year. That is very tiny. It is literally cheaper than most ETFs out there, so it is pretty good. So if you're using this new portfolio, if you transfer over to the new structure, which pretty much everybody will, to be better off in terms of fees, you need to have over $60,000 invested, and that's when the new fee structure is actually cost effective. And of course, we can assume that a lot of customers that invest with Spaceship do not have $60,000 invested with Spaceship, so of course, it's going to represent a fee increase for most of those customers. So if you're just some beginner investor who's just started out with Spaceship and you're investing in like $5 per week or $5 per month, whatever it is, you're going to be one of the people that's going to be hit the most with this price increase. Looking at some other examples, let's say that your portfolio is $250 with the fees of $2.50 per month, and annually the fees are $30 per year. The actual fees is going to be 12% per year. So the fees as a percentage of your overall investment is going to be that high, which pretty much means that the actual fees are going to be higher than the historical average return of the market. So you'll actually be going backwards or almost staying the same. If you have a portfolio of $1,000, then the fees as a percentage of your overall portfolio is going to be 3%. It's getting slightly better. But if you have $5,000 invested, then the fees are going to be 0.6%, which is much more better. It's almost on par with other kind of thematic ETFs out there as a comparison. Now look guys, I don't want to sit here and just talk negatively about Spaceship, because if you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that we don't like to kind of give those kind of one-sided takes. We like to kind of look at the other side of the things as well to get a balanced perspective, and I want to talk about this, and I think this is pretty important for you guys to actually understand. Micro investing as a whole is a pretty good thing. I think pretty much every person can agree to that. The people that didn't have access to the markets before can pretty much get access with as little as $5. You know, they don't need to save up $500 to actually, you know, buy a stock on the stock market with an actual broker and pay fees of, you know, $20 with ComSec or $10 with, you know, other brokers out there. So it's definitely very good that micro investing is getting bigger and bigger. Yes, the $2.50 monthly fee is pretty ridiculous for small balances, but what are you actually getting for that $2.50 per month? You're getting access to a full investment team that does regular research to find some of the best companies in the world, companies that are operating either ethically or trying to, you know, lead the well in some sort of area or some sort of industry. And these companies are going to be hopefully leaders of the future, and the returns speak for themselves. So for just $30 per year, you're getting a full investment team that's pretty much researching almost every single day to find you those returns. So I think that's pretty valuable. Plus also understand that regular investing builds the habit of investing, and this is one of the most underrated things that I feel like people don't really talk about. Yes, for small balances, it is costing you. However, it does build the habit of investing, and this is a habit that can literally make you hundreds of thousands of dollars over your lifetime, even millions. And no, I'm not exaggerating. If you know the power of compound interest, you know that this is going to be true over your lifetime. So for just that small cost, if you can keep on regularly investing, you're actively trying to build that habit, you're actively participating in the market, and as you start to earn more money and start to invest more, this skill can literally make you a lot of money down the track. So just paying a small price may be worth it. Just consider it. Also, people spend that much money on a regular basis. Like, just think about it. If you're going for, you know, a lunch or brunch or, you know, dinner or whatever it is, if you're living in Sydney, $30 is pretty much the cost of a full meal at a decent place, right? So you're paying a lot of money, you know, already on a regular basis, and just paying $30 per year just for investment, just for a skill that can actually allow you to make so much more money down the track, I think it's worth kind of comparing. Like, people will literally spend $15 a month, $20 a month without really thinking on stuff like Spotify subscriptions, Netflix, Stan, Disney Plus, Binge, Amazon Prime, whatever it is. But when it comes to investing for stuff that actually could make you a lot of money, when it comes to Spaceship and things like that, people start to be very risk averse, very kind of fee averse, and they don't really like to engage in stuff like that. I think people find it very hard to actually find the value when it comes to investing, and I think people need to think about it more. And the last point I want to make is that people don't really care when they're paying monthly fees to their bank of $4 per month, $5 per month to literally store money in with the bank, right? You're paying those monthly fees with CBA, ANZ and Westpac, and nobody really cares. Nobody really kind of, questions that sort of stuff. It's just something that we accept. Nobody really asks why we're paying an account keeping fee. Like, I work for a bank, even I don't know what an account keeping fee means. What exactly are you keeping? What is there to keep? Isn't it just digital? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Now, of course, this is a topic for a different video, but think about this, right? The banks have been pretty much ripping us off for the last couple of years, pretty much forever if you really think about it. And here you have an alternative, which is Spaceship, which is lesser fees than these banks. It's given us more returns. Banks pay us barely any interest. With a transaction account, they're paying you interest of like 0.1% per year. With savings accounts, they're paying you interest of less than 1% or 2%, 3%, but that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the top end. And if you compare it to kind of what you're getting, it is not a bad deal with Spaceship if you compare it to the banks. Now, yes, you can say that this is not a fair comparison because obviously they're different types of entities. Banks are not investment companies like Spaceship, but I think it is still worth comparing just as a bit of a comparison. Now, if you guys are looking for some bank accounts in Australia which charge you 0 fees for keeping your money with them, you can check out this video right here. This video pretty much goes through all the best bank accounts in Australia. And if you guys want a comparison of all the micro investing apps in Australia, check out this video right here. This video is a bit outdated. It does not include the new fee changes for Spaceship, but I think it is still worth having a look at. Check these two videos out, and guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now. Yes, for small balances, it is